How doing, everybody? This KB5 MIQ Big Boy. Thought we'd put another video out for the week. Gonna talk about my new old radio, and we're gonna talk about buying used HF radios or any radio. And I've got some picks we're gonna put on the end of this. I've got a pick of our winner, Terry Adams, KA4 OYI. He won the book we give away last video. He also sent me some pics of his 4BTV Hustler installation where he used the ground rod idea that WD5HKV shared with me, and I shared on a video here a while back. Also, AD4QP helped me, along with the WD5HKV and W5DLX, helped me get this mic hooked up to this new old radio. And at the end of this video, there's going to be several picks. And the last pick on all my videos from now is going to be a thumbnail of Ham Radio Cat. So let's talk a little bit. Hey, Ham Radio Cat. Buying a used rig. We've talked about this before. HF radios are expensive. Come on, buddy. Get up here. If you got the money to buy a new one, buy one. I'd recommend that to anybody if you can fit it in your budget. But like I said, this channel's about helping new hams, and all of us have been on a budget. Cody runs a FT891 Yaesu, and Jeff just bought him a new FT891. They're good radios. They really are. Got a lot of features on them. They're HF 6-meter all-mode radios, 100-watt rigs. Be excellent radios for QRP and POTA field use. Let's see, Vern 6 runs one. I showed him in an earlier video using an 891 on his POTA station at Queen Wilhelmina. So I know MTC shows them in stock. I think MCC's got them $679 right now in stock, and I think Gigaparts has showed them in stock at a slightly different price, but they're worth looking into if you can afford a new radio. Hey, Ham Radio Cat. Aaron, old buddy, he finally showed up here. I don't know if I can get this camera where you can see him too good or not. But, talk about used gear. And MTC sells a lot of used gear. It doesn't hurt to check their site out for used stuff. Now, eBay sells a lot of used gear. And years ago when I got on eBay, I looked at gear. In fact, I bought a Ranger 10-meter mobile off eBay that was a good radio, got a good price on it. So I'm not knocking eBay, but what I'm seeing now, especially in ham radio and electronics, they pretty much got the disclaimer put on them, sold for parts only, no return. And I'm seeing a lot of radios people are buying out of estate sales that are saying, well, we just plugged it in and it turned on. We don't know if it works or not. And they're asking some pretty good prices for it. Now, I'm not knocking eBay. If you feel comfortable and you purchase on eBay and you feel comfortable on eBay, hey, knock yourself out. I still recommend trying a ham radio swap meet, a ham fest, anything you can go to in person and actually look at the rigs that are available, and get your hands on it, and talk to the guy trying to sell it. Now, anything I'm telling you about how to buy a radio is just my opinion. So if you buy a radio and it's a bad one, don't blame me. I'm just giving you my advice, my idea on it. I'm an old gun trader. I've bought trade guns all my life, and the last 10, 12 years has been more buying than trading, but I bought a bad one or two along the way. You're going to do that. If you're a trader, that's going to happen. Now, when I go to a ham fest or a ham swap meet, sidewalk sale, and I said this in an earlier video and I'm going to reiterate it again, this is what I personally look for when I'm looking at somebody's stuff. If I pull up on a guy that's got just crap stacked everywhere, crap on top of crap, stacked on the ground, on the table, just piled up there, and some of it looks dusty, a little dirty, And he doesn't act like he knows that much about any particular thing or don't want to talk about it that much. You kind of better take your chances there with that. I don't. I'll walk away. Unless it's just a dirt cheap deal and I'm willing to take a chance that it's not going to work. I usually don't buy nothing there. Because to me, that guy is just going around the junk stores, buying junk and trying to resell it. If you pull up on a guy's table and he's got his rig sitting there neatly and it's clean, and if he's got any accessories with it, or it's just set up there nicely, neatly, and he's willing to talk to you about it, pay a little more attention there. I passed up a rig at a MTC sidewalk sale purposely. I didn't take enough money with me, and a lot of times I'll do that because I don't want to spend any money. I just don't take it with me because I'll spend it. I've always been fascinated by these old Kenwood 830S's, tube rigs. I've never had a tube rig in my life. A guy had a clean one sitting there and had a manual with it, didn't have a mic for it. And a lot of these rigs you're going to find for sale won't have mics because a lot of those rigs from the 80s and the 90s, when they were sold, they didn't sell mics with them for some reason. He had an 830S there he was asking $300 for and told me I'd make an offer on it. And he said it's got a little receive problem with it, a little warbly receive, but other than that, he said it transmits fine. I almost bought it and didn't. So anyway, but that's the type of guy I like to talk to. I like to talk to a guy that's kind of going to tell me about it. You know, when I sold my 701 in 09, I told the guy, hey, this radio transmits full power, but it will not receive. There's something gone out in the receive on it. The power supply works, the mic works, I've got the book, I've got an extra set of schematics, I got the extra power cable. You know, but the radio does not receive. I told him right up front. He gave me $150 for it. But I had the original boxes, original hand mic, desk mic, and everything. Well, I get up to Queen Wilhelmina, and I run up on this guy's table. He had this 701. We're going to turn the camera on it here in just a minute. And another older of the same era, Icom Almo VHF radio. Had one mic. They both use the same 4-pin desk mic. He said they both work. So they're my old rigs. I've had them since they was new. But he said, I'm wanting $300 for the pair. And whoever buys the first one, don't buy the other, gets the mic with it. I saw it at 9:45 that morning. And I didn't take $300 with me. Anyway, on that reason, I think I had about $250 with me. I owed Jeff $20 on some stuff he had picked up for me. I looked at the radio at 11 o'clock. He still had both of them. Jeff and I went to lunch. And I'll probably tell this story again, but I'm going to show you the radio. And we sitting there eating lunch, got through our little radio experiment. I just pulled my cash out, and I think I had $229 cash on me, all the cash I had. I hope I don't offend the guy, but it's 1 o'clock. If he still got both of them, I'm just going to offer him what I got and see what he does. Well, he had sold the 2-meter rig, and he offered to sell me the 701 for $150. And swore up and down it worked. Well, all right. Well, I walked on, looked around. Jeff and I looked for a mic, couldn't find a mic. Right before I left, I walked by. He still had it. I kept hoping somebody'd buy it, and he still had it. And I shelled out $150 for it. Now, it's a 40-year-old radio. People ask me, why did you buy a 40-year-old radio? Well, nostalgia. It was my first rig. Backup to this one. At one time, I had to send this one to shops, and I was completely off air for a while. I like operating an old radio that don't have menus on it. So, the 701, to my knowledge, and somebody can correct me, come out in 79, and it was the first Icom HF radio they made. All transistor, no tubes. And it was in 79, if you bought the radio, power supply, and the desk mic, it was a $1,695 radio in 79. MTC's got that $891 for $679 now. So see how much difference radio prices are. But I want you new techs to consider going ahead. If you can't afford a new rig, start shopping for a used rig. If you don't feel comfortable, try to find an Elmer to go with you. Go to a swap meet and talk to the guy. And you can tell pretty quick talking to somebody if they get arrogant or snarky with you. Walk away. You don't have to spend your money there. If the guy seems sincere, knowledgeable, willing to tell you everything he knows about the radio, then consider it. You can get some good deals out there. I'm well pleased with this deal on this 701. I've run dummy load on every band, and it appears to put out about 65 watts PEP. When I first got it, the frequency readout was off about 1.6 kilohertz. I know when the first time I tried to get on the 10-meter round table, Cody couldn't hear me because I had it set on 450 and he couldn't even hear me. And I could barely hear him. So I told him, I texted him, I said, call back, give me a counter. I talked to him on 5.2 or something. And I tuned him in and it was like on 28448.5. And that was from a cold start. Well, I read about letting them warm up. I let it warm up one day, and the best it would do was about 1.2 kilohertz off frequency from the readout. So I read the manual, and there was a simple frequency alignment. You tune it on 15 megahertz on WWV, and you're supposed to put it on CW and short the CW plug, and when the tones go together, crap, I can't hear the tones anyway. So what I did, I put on WWV and 15 megahertz on the readout, and I just turned the frequency adjust until it sounded right to me. And on our round table last night, I'm about 0.2 to 0.3 hertz off now. In fact, I could set my dial on 28,450, and as the radio warms up, they can stay on 450 and tweak it with the RIT clarifier a little bit, and everybody's fine. So the only other thing I found absolutely wrong with the radio is the speaker and the power supply. I haven't been able to get it to work. I'm not sure about the cable he sent me. I owned it out. I don't like the way it looks. I don't have any more pins until I get a chance to go to MTC and get some more pins. But the speaker and the radio works fine. And honestly, when I had my old one, I used that speaker probably more than I used the speaker and the power supply. Wiring a modern hand mic, a disc mic, to this radio turned out to be a exercise. Which again, this hobby is about experimenting, and it was a good exercise. DLX, HKV helped me with it. AD4 Quebec Papa helped me with the mic, also helped me into their 80 meter net. What I ended up finding out, I was pinning it out right and was hooking the right wires up, but it wouldn't work. But for some reason, on this MFJ 297 desk mic, it's got an 8-pin Cat 5 plug going in the back of it and an 8-pin that went in the radio. Now, I can't explain this because it worked fine on my 897 from the factory. But I messed with this thing that last day. I said, something is not right here. There's no reason this shouldn't work. Well, I unpinned the Cat 5 plug out of the back of the microphone and held the plug I had cut off up next to it, and it wasn't wired the same. So I pinned it out to match the wires where it went into the mic and hooked those wires up. It worked first time. And it's got a good tone to it, good audio. In fact, Cody says this 40-year-old radio with this MFJ desk mic, to him sounds better, sound quality, clear, and audio's better than my 897 with my Hill ProSet headset mic. I mean, radio works fine. I also dug an old Heathkit HM102 HF watt meter out, SWR watt meter out, and it had quit working on me. And there's going to be some pictures plugged in of it also. I took it apart. Now, I'm an electrician by trade. I was an automotive machinist for the government. I did some work for about 12 years, the electrical part of it. But I am not a board electronics guy to work on circuit boards. I do wiring. I do residential construction wiring. I understand Ohm's law. I understand electrical theory and electronic theory. I had to work on instrument panels, but the panels we worked on were pretty much 60s technology they're still using today. But I know what a capacitor is, I know what a resistor is, I know what to look for. So I took that old meter apart, and I couldn't find anything blowed on it. I couldn't find anything swelled up on it. I didn't see any burnt solder places in the board anywhere. I didn't have any tuner wire, so I've got to get some because I need to work on a couple of switches on that 701. But I took a can of computer air and just blowed that thing out, blowed the switches out in the front good, put it back together, and it works. So it kind of looks cool on a vintage radio, having an old vintage Heathkit watt meter on it. But the thing on this, guys, is try to find you something you can afford. Like I said, watch some of my earlier videos. Antennas don't have to be new and expensive. You can make antennas out of anything. Get you an antenna book. ARR Mail makes them. Get you an old handbook or a new handbook. If you go to Thrifty Books, they've got some of that book I give away was almost a mint condition 1992 handbook. Had a lot of good antenna stuff in it. So, plenty of avenues to get you on HF inexpensively. Okay, I'm going to pause this a second. We're going to take a look at that radio. Okay, this is the Icom 701 with that Heathkit HM102 watt meter on it. I'm not the best audio visual. Let me get some glasses on where I can see here. On the front of this radio, you'll notice your band knob here, your various settings for your meter, compression, ALC, on-off switch, headphones, mic, RF, AF gain, mic compression and mic gain. This is your upper lower sideband CW RIDI switch. Passband tuning. Your A, B, and your crossband, VOFO if you want an up and down frequency chat. Your RIT control, noise blanker, automatic gain control. Old radios had a receive transmit switch, Vox attenuator, and the VFO. Real simple, easy to use 100-watt rig. Like I said, this was not putting out a full 100 watts, but on 10 meters when the band's open, I feel like it'll work great. That's your Heathkit HM102 old school watt meter. Still works. I plan on using this rig largely on 10 meters and using my Yaesu for 17 meters and other stuff. That's enough. 17's a good band. That's the LDG YT100 tuner with auxiliary meter and my old Kenwood TM261A 2-meter rig. Anyway, guys, a good way to get on the air. These are good old radios. Like I said, I just seen one on eBay. They're asking $379 for the radio, power supply, no mic, untested. So let me pause this again. Well, like I said, my audio visual skills, I hope I can improve them the longer I keep this channel up. Appreciate everybody who subscribed. We hit 413. Picked up 13 subscribers in the last week and a half. That's really good. We enjoy putting these out. There's going to be some pictures plugged in on the end of this, so stay on it till you see the ham radio cat thumbnail. Hey, cat. MTC, Main Trading Company, Paris, Texas. They're online. They got a lot of good deals. He's got used gear on his website too. And one thing with his used gear, he'll tell you right up front if he's tested it. If he's tested it, he usually gives at least a 30-day warranty with it. You can always talk to them about it. That's, they've got used gear available on their site. Remember your ham radio club pages. 4 States Amateur Radio Club, Dallas Amateur Radio, Cowtown Amateur Radio, Shreveport Amateur Radio. Good avenues for local information to get into this hobby. Facebook pages, Ham Radio Flea Market, Trading Post, hey Ham Radio Cat, Ham Radio Elmer's, Ham Radio, Texas Amateur Ham Radio. good places for information. KB5MIQ is my call sign. My email's posted on my QRZ page. Remember our 10-meter round table, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Friday nights on 28, 450 or up. Usually if we're not there, we're on 470 if the band's busy. We was getting some check-ins earlier in the summer from a lot of people. We love to have people check in with us, especially new techs. And the band's been kind of dead. We hadn't had any here lately, but if you hear us, please check in. I want to thank everybody who subscribed to the channel. Hope everybody has... I will finish that up. I'll run out of video time. Hope I thank everybody who subscribed to the channel. It's KB5MIQ Big Boy, and please hang around for the pics at the end of it. Thanks a lot. 73.